Hello everybody, I'm Caden, and this is my wife Lindsay, and we are Adventures of a Stormtrooper. But today we're on a different kind of adventure. A scuba diving adventure. I'll show some pictures. I know that's different from our usual adventures. Usually we bring you on our adventures that are volunteering at some sort of charity event, like the last one we went to was a Make-A-Wish event in Appleton. The next one we're going to is a Heart Walk in Milwaukee. And usually you see us in Chewbacca, my Stormtrooper, Captain Phasma, Lindsay's got her Kylo, Jedi, all sorts of different costumes, and that's usually what our channel's about. But we thought we'd share another type of adventure that we go on. Our other hobby is scuba diving. And yesterday we went on a dive, and I found a brand new wreck, and I took some really good footage of it on my GoPro, and I thought, I want to share it. If you like these kind of videos, I can make more. We dive all the time, and I always bring the GoPro because I like to film everything. But the way our two hobbies are connected is actually my certification number for scuba diving is also my TK number. So the TK number on our logo, TK36544, is my Dive Master certification number. Here's my other. I worked very hard for this badge. At one point I thought I wanted to be an instructor, and that kind of fell through because the dive shop I wanted to work for didn't want me after I got certified, but that's a different story. But you can see on my Dive Master certification card it's 365440. I just took the 0 off, and that's my TK number. So that's how you can say I'm a scuba trooper, so to speak. Still a stormtrooper even if I'm not in uniform. So today we're going to bring you on a different adventure. So come along on our adventure.
Pew pew! Pew pew! Pew pew!
Today's dive brings us to Garrett Bay, Wisconsin, which is a dive site that we've dove many a times before, but we usually visit the other wreck at this particular dive site. It's called the Fleet Wing, and that's our usual spot. But today we got some perfect water conditions where it was only 64 degrees and the visibility was very good. Today we had a 15 to 20 foot visibility, which that is rare in the Green Bay, Lake Michigan area. So I decided to try and go find the other shipwreck that's known at this site. It's actually unconfirmed, but it's called the Japan. And the Japan is a schooner shipwreck, just like the Fleet Wing is also a schooner shipwreck. The Japan sunk in 1885 while it was loading some cargo of cedar logs. And you can actually see in the videos upcoming after this crawfish that you'll see we came across the debris field first before we found the actual Japan shipwreck. And I got all this information in the history about this shipwreck on wisconsinshipwrecks.org, and it's a great website if you ever want to learn anything about Wisconsin shipwrecks in Lake Michigan, Superior area, anything that touches the border of Wisconsin. But it's a great website, and it tells you a lot of information about what you're diving. But we ran across the debris field first. And these are actually some tires that are within the debris field. They must have fallen off of some larger vessels that use those to buffer the docks. But we were very excited because we finally found the Japan shipwreck. Because my last attempt, this actual wall right here, I came out this far and decided, oh, that's where I needed to be, and didn't go up over it. But then I was talking to the local dive shop, and they're like, no, you had to go up over that clay wall you saw. And it was like, oh, darn, I was so close. But today we had perfect conditions and good navigation, and we were able to find it. And here's our first look at the Japan. We were so pumped that we finally found it, and it looks amazing. It's a lot bigger. It's the biggest wreck piece in this area, and I'm gonna give you a full swim around tour of it, which is going to be pretty cool. Some of my filming is a little choppy because when we dive in Lake Michigan, because we shore dive, I have to have the dive reel that tells boats and kayakers where we are so they don't hit us if we were to come to the surface. So if you hear the camera ratcheting or clicking next to it, that's the dive reel, and I'm reeling it in because I'm either going shallower or deeper, and so I do fudge up on some of the filming, so sorry it's not very smooth. But here's a full roundabout look of the Japan shipwreck that we found for the first time yesterday. So this is us seeing it for the first time. So I thought as you watched the footage that I could give you some more information that I found on wisconsinshipwreck.org about the Japan. The Japan was built in 1853 and was 112.6 feet long, was a schooner type vessel with 2 masts, sunk in 1885 with no lives lost. And then I found an article from the Door County Advocate on October 22nd, 1885 that details her last voyage. The schooner Japan was wrecked at Andrew Nelson's Pier in Garrett Bay during the big blow of Monday, October 21st, 1885, and is a total loss. She was loading wood when the blow came up, and being unable to get underway, the heavy seas made her strike bottom and go to pieces. She had about 120 cords of wood on board when the disaster happened. And if you would like to know more information, it does detail who built the Japan, who owned the Japan. They have all those public records, and they give you more information about numbers and all that other stuff on the website, or any shipwreck that you're interested in, Lake Michigan, or in it, like I said, any of the bordering shipwrecks that touch the border of Wisconsin. They give some great information. The Fleet Wing has some good information too. The Fleet Wing's actually an older wreck. It was sunk in 1865. So the Japan is a newer wreck, so that's why there's a little more to it. And the Japan is also in deeper water. This is about 20. It's lying right now currently with the current water table at about 23 feet, where the Fleet Wing is farther into shore, where it's lying at like 13 to 15 depending on the year. And the Fleet Wing it's only like maybe 100 yards offshore, where the Japan is probably like closer to 350 offshore, so it's a little farther out into the middle of the bay. So it's a longer swim to get to, so that's why we don't go often to it. But the smallmouth bass sure seem to enjoy the Japan's company, and you can see the algae is starting to die off because it's September 3rd, so it's not that in the middle of summer this would be like all lush green algae, and now you can see it's all dead and it's dying, and by the beginning of next year it'll kind of clear off with the ice in the middle of the winter. So like the beginning of May, you get like this really nice crystal clear water with little algae growth, only the stuff that hung on for dear life that's dead. But this is usually what the bottom of Lake Michigan or Green Bay looks like. Pretty algae covered with a lot of rocks. There's sandy bottoms farther out. Gotta love the gobies. They always love to get into the shots too. They're fun to play with too. But this was the farthest western edge of the wreck here, this ridge. This was, I think, part of a wall or something of the shipwreck. It doesn't look like it is, but that was a big hunk of wood. It kind of looks like a rock, but it's not. And then I'm about to show you, or you're gonna see, this is the dive rail that I was talking about earlier, and my beautiful glove. But what I'm trying to work and showing you is trying to get all the way down to the bottom so I can show you the depth on my dive computer, and it says 22 right there. But it was a fun wreck to swim out to, and it had some beautiful scenery on the way. You can see the debris field in the earlier parts of the wreck. There's another tire. That's like the third tire we found that day. But it has a lot of pieces of the deck where we came across earlier with the boards, and they're really cool pieces of driftwood that we would never dream of touching or taking up. We only try to take things up that were fallen off current vessels, like that piece of boat plastic we showed you earlier. We took that with us and we throw that away to get that out of the lake. Try to keep the lake as clean as we can. When we find like cans and garbage, we bring that stuff up too. But this was a really fun dive, and we hope you enjoyed coming along on our adventure. So thanks for coming along on our adventure, and we hope to see you again real soon.